schizophrenic patient today in the United States, a person suffering from schizophrenia, your outcomes were better in the United States in 1930 than they are today. And we can go on and on, talking about our struggles with addictions. We can talk struggles with chronic mental illness. We can talk about our dysfunctional system. But really what we're left with is that our system is not working very well for most of the people that encounter it or think about encountering it, and we need a new path forward. So that's what I'm here to talk about today, and that's what I want to really explore with you today. So if we were to create these three pillars of body, mind, spirit, it might look something like this. Body is the hardware, mind is the operating system and controller, and soul or spirit, depending on which term you like, is the application. So looking at default mode network, we can see it's an intrinsic brain network or hub, and it's made up of many different functional hubs within the central nervous system. It changes and evolves as we age. So the default mode network looks very different at 8 and at 12 and at 16 and at 50. And now what's interesting about these intrinsic brain hubs, and default mode network is one and salience network is another, there are quite a few of them in the brain, is that this was the great surprise of neuroscience in the early studies of this in the 1980s. What they found is if you give the brain a formal task that's challenging, such as a math problem, the energy demand and the energy output of the brain actually falls. So it's more restful for the brain to be doing math problems than it is to be in sort of the mind-wandering state that most of us exist in. Psychedelics create this powerful tool that reduces the default mode network activity, but it's a powerful intervention that offers us more direct perception. And the other thing that it offers us is better access to ourself. And by self, I mean the large S, as Jung described it. And that when we're under the influence of powerful psychedelics, we have these profound insights because we're in greater connection with our true self, our deep self, and not our persona. And as we look more broadly to the spiritual and soul level, we have to think about the big application. What's the quality of meaning, value, and purpose? What's the alignment of present self with deeper self? And this is where I think psychedelics can give us a wake-up call. We need to look at religious and spiritual beliefs, the current path of practice, our call to service, our ability to love, and how much we express joy. These are, I think, reflections of our application and its health and foundation. So what Future Mental Health is calling to us for is a greater understanding that these mental health issues drive so much of human distress, and not just mental health distress, but chronic physical illness. And if we want to get people with chronic illness out of their stuck state, we can't just treat their diabetes or their heart disease. We have to go back and treat their trauma. And they're not going to get better. And they're not going to cease to be frequent flyers of the medical system until we can do core level healing. We need to know that diet is such a profound factor in the setup and the persistence of chronic mental illness. And that we need to think about social emotional education as a curriculum in elementary schools, and that early monitoring of attachment neglect is critical, and people can heal, and that fun matters as we move forward.